Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome to Auntie Derek's Daytime Tea, where we discuss the latest celebrity tea in the news. I am your host, Auntie Derek, and I have my lovely co-host with me, I Chill. Hey, boo.
Hey, boo. Hi,
Yeah.
everybody.
So thank you so much for being here today. Well, we're gonna go ahead and get started. So, thanks to Chill, for the month of May, we've been doing a segment called May Mayhem, where we honor people who cause good trouble in society. Today's honor is going to be a little different from what I normally do because I can just imagine she's going to be like, Derek, really? But
Who you gonna talk
like we
about?
said, people who make good trouble in society, honey. And so I'm going to share a link from the famouspeople.org, or excuse me, the famouspeople.com. And we're going to talk about Brandy Maxell from Basketball Wives. And today happens to be her birthday as well. So happy birthday, Brandy, and I want to wish you many, many more. But so Brandy Maxell, born as Brandy M. Duncan, is an American reality TV star who is best known for her appearance on VH1's Basketball Wives LA. She has also appeared on TV shows like The Arsenio Hall Show, Access Hollywood Live, and the TV series documentary True Hollywood Story. The reality TV star is also an entrepreneur who and owns Midway salons and suites. Besides this, she's a social media star and has an incredible fan base on several social networking websites. Excuse me, that was a tongue twister. Talking about Instagram, Maxell has about 591,000 followers on the social media platform. She also has about 109,000 followers on Twitter. A graduate of the University of North Texas, Maxell battled ovarian cancer after the diagnosis of the disease in 2007. After undergoing multiple chemotherapy sessions, the American reality star was declared cancer free in the year of 2008. Since then, she's become an inspirational speaker for cancer patients. And remember, honey, this was the only girl that was employed by Shawnee O'Neal, and she called Shawnee O'Neal a bitch to her face, honey. So what I say,
Yeah, she did. And then her services were no longer required.
but you see, she's still on the show, right?
Well, well,
Little Shawnee knew a real bitch when she saw one, honey. she and Shawnee did say thank you for your services, only to have Brandy come back the next season. Brandy made it do what it do. But I also love her actually because she's even talked about that on the show about her struggle with ovarian cancer.
yeah, yeah. In 2008, that yeah, she's passed a lot of landmarks. Sound like she was really cured. Good for her.
Hmm. So again, happy birthday. She was born in 83, so she's 3 years older than me. So that would make her 42 today. So happy 42nd birthday, girl, and I wish you many, many, many more birthdays.
Well, I'm not side eyeing you too bad, Auntie. That's a
Okay.
good.
Okay.
That's a good one. I'll let you go with that one.
Thank you, thank you. Well, speaking of letting go, let's go ahead with the tea, honey.
It's tea time.
Yes. Well, so I want to give people a little bit of credit because they did summarize yesterday's Diddy trial update. They summarized it really well, I think. So we're just going to quickly go over what they spoke of yesterday that we didn't talk about yesterday on yesterday's show. And I just shared this link from People. You see where it says Diddy trial day 7 live. Let's see. So I believe we mentioned yesterday about Diddy, because yep, we talked about his substance abuse and we revealed that he was a heavy user of Percocets. So we don't need to go over that one. Now, this is where things get interesting. So Diddy's assistant yesterday, Diddy's assistant says he quit after Suge Knight encounter. Um, says on his second day on the witness stand, James testified that he worked for Combs from 2007 to 2009. James was asked about an incident in November of 2008 about when Ventura previously testified when Combs security guards spotted the Bad Boy Records founder's longtime rival, Marion Suge Knight, at a diner in Los Angeles. James testified that the security guard D Rock spotted a night and I'm sorry, they got it tongue to spotted a night and exclaimed that motherfucking Suge Knight. D Rock approached Knight's black Cadillac Escalade and told the Death Row Records mogul, "What's up? It's me, Biggie's boy." James testified, and the pair shook hands. Though James said he initially thought it was a friendly conversation, he said D Rock returned and said that they had to leave immediately. Upon their return to Combs' Hollywood home, James said he saw the mogul and Ventura arguing, that it looked like that she'd been crying. James said that Combs then ordered James to drive him and the security guard back to the diner to look for Knight. "Get in the car," Combs said, according to James. Combs sat in the back seat with with three handguns in his lap. James testified. So yeah, he was in the back seat with three handguns. I remember Cassie testified that he told her to hold one of those guns. Um, he said, "I was really shook," James said. "It was my first time I realized my life was in danger." James said he put in his notice shortly after the incident and left Cone Company in May of 2009. He said, "Okay, this motherfucker's a little bit too real for me." All right. Now the next update talks about Cassie's mom, Regina Ventura, or should I say it in my Spanish accent, Regina Ventura. The mother of Cassandra Cassie Ventura took the stand Tuesday and testified that she was made physically sick when she said Combs threatened to release explicit videos of her daughter afterwards. "I did not understand it. The sex tape threw me," Regina Ventura testified. "He was trying to hurt my daughter." Regina Ventura said that Combs demanded $20,000 for the footage after he found out his daughter was dating Kid Cudi. "We took out a home equity loan, and that was my only way we could get the money." The defense declined to cross-examine Regina Ventura. They know better. Let's see. The next hey Will, hey Benji. The next update, and chill, I think this is what I don't know which exotic dancer you saw on Breakfast Club, but in this one they talk about someone known by as the Punisher.
That's him.
And
They
his
said he testified. That's him.
okay. So, yep, and his real name, it looks like it's Sheree Hayes. It says the male exotic dancer known as the Punisher testified that he was paid $800 to stage a sexy scene for Combs and Ventura while trying not to look at the music mogul. Hayes said he was called to a hotel suite at the Trump Tower in the fall of 2012, where Ventura greeted him wearing a bathrobe and nothing on underneath, and she had on a wig. Ooh, I wonder what kind of wig it was, but was it like a bob or like a pixie? Anyway,
Don't get distracted.
so thank you. Ventura handed Hayes a sack of money with $800 inside. He testified and told him to create a sexy scene of me and her applying baby oil on each other and create a sexy environment that her husband would come up on. She said, "Do not acknowledge her husband, try not to look at him, and no communication," Hayes said. Okay, so he didn't want nobody looking at his Tootsie Roll. And then the next update, Kid Cudi is expected to testify. So he's not on the stand yet, from as far as I've read. Rapper Kid Cudi, whose real name is Scott Muscudi, is expected to testify at the trial this week. And that was the last update from people yesterday. Look, a Vivica A. Fox week. Exactly.
Well, they left out some detail. It was his description of the encounter that the Breakfast Club talked about. So they definitely did not mention, everything that was said. So
Ooh,
you have to listen. I sent it to you, the
thank
actual
you.
clip from the BK.
Now, is it like a long type of clip? Like, is it too long for me to play live on the show, or?
It's about 3.5 minutes long. It's
Oh,
fairly long.
okay. So basically, look at that on my own time.
Well, I mean, if you said it was going to be a little short today, if you want to play it, I'm just saying it was interesting.
We have a comment that says, "Yes, look at that on your own time." Will duly noted. Well, let's get into the from the updates from today, honey. And it looks like from what I've seen, because we're going to be using CNN's live updates today. until people, get their shit together. But from what I understand, who's been on the stand for the most part today was a an expert. What kind of expert? It was like a psychology expert. Let me go to the catch up section. Mm, Says the latest on the stand now. Court in Sean Diddy Combs' sex trafficking trial is taking a lunch break, of course. I told you this tells you all the updates. When the jury returns, Dawn Hughes, a board certified clinical and forensic psychologist specializing in trauma, will continue testifying. So that is her. That is Dawn Hughes, and she is a board certified clinical and forensic psychologist, and she does specialize in trauma. And she has said things like she pretty much saying, in her expert opinion, talk about abuse victims, how their abuser, people that have been abused still have connections with their abusers and stuff like that. So let me see. For example, she says victims often numb themselves with drugs and alcohol. Psychologists talk about passive and active self-defense. Victims develop coping mechanisms, psychologist says. Psychologist explains why it sometimes takes multiple attempts for victims to leave abusive relationships. A trauma bond can make a victim unwilling to leave a relationship, she says. Uh, Financial dependence and lack of resources trap victims in abusive relationships. Oh, baby, she is spitting. She's spitting that real shit, honey. Sexual abuse is a very private harm, psychologist says, explaining obstacle to seeking help. Oh, well. Victims often stay in abusive relationships, psychologist testifies. Yeah. Hughes says she's here to provide the juror with information on domestic violence and traumatic stress. So this is who has been on the stand for the most part. Let me see if there's been any other people. Uh, Says special agent confirms AR-15 rifles found in Combs' closet were dismantled and unloaded. Oh, okay. So defense special agent Gerard Gannon, he was one of the people that raided Diddy's house, if y'all remember, or one of his
Mm-hmm.
homes. And yep, he says that he found AR-15 rifles in the closet, but they were dismantled and unloaded. Um, 6 people were at Combs Miami Beach homes when the search started. So yeah, we knew about that. And who else? So let me just see who if there's anything else I need to read. I think that's pretty much all the updates we have as of right now. So we know that 2 people, so that special agent testified and also Dawn Hughes. And let me see if there's just any other mention of anyone else. Yep, it's just a special agent. Kid Cudi, it will not. There's an update. As of 3 hours ago, prosecutors indicate Kid Cudi will not take the stand today. So later in this week, but it just won't be today. All right. So now, and before we just have a little bit of some other update. Hey, gorgeous moon. Does anybody want to add anything to this before we move on? Okay, so now the next thing I'm actually gonna play 2 video clips. Now the first one was provided by Happy, so thank you, Boom. And what because remember even when the trial first started, I was like, okay, they just keep focusing on. This is why I always give the disclosure that my knowledge of the law is learned through Law and Order SVU because I don't know shit about the law. And this video that Happy showed me was pretty much explaining where the racketeering comes in. Because you remember, I even said like, okay, it seems like they're only focusing on like abuse and how he's abused and stuff, but they didn't say anything about racketeering. They didn't prove any. Boy, was I wrong, honey. And do y'all remember? Just really briefly, do y'all remember when Cassie mentioned that when she would get these escorts, she would use like an alias that she said that her husband's name was Frank or something like that. She would always use the name Frank, and that was Diddy's alias. Y'all remember that? So pay attention to the name Frank, baby. That is very important. And this lovely lady on Instagram, let me see what her name is. She explained this is about a 2-minute video that we're about to watch. Her name is That Girl Mom. And she pretty much explains how this name Frank ties into that racketeering. And boy, when I tell you my mouth dropped open, I said, bitch. So we're going to watch together. Give me 1 second. Let me share my screen. And let me refresh so we can start from the beginning.
Do you remember when Diddy started shaking his head last week during Cassie's testimony? And it wasn't when she was talking about the super embarrassing things. It was when she was talking about his aliases of Frank Black and Frank White. So she put those names on the record as names that Diddy used. It seemed weird to me that he would get upset about that, but I thought maybe he's just a narcissist and now people are going to realize who he was and what he was doing this whole time. But no, y'all, it goes way deeper than that. They released the photos of the evidence from the hotel room that he was staying in when they arrested him, and in the evidence was a prescription bottle for clonazepam, which is a Schedule 4 narcotic. It's kind of like Xanax, but not as strong. And it was written to who? Frank Black. And y'all get this, the address on the label was for Lifespan Medicine in Santa Monica, California. Lifespan Medicine is a concierge doctor kind of thing. So you have someone 24/7 you can call for anything you need, which seems something very much like he would have, right? So I'm assuming, this is just my opinion, that a doctor at Lifespan Medicine wrote this prescription for Diddy, but put it in the name of Frank Black, which is highly illegal. You can't write narcotics to someone in someone else's name, and you definitely can't put your address down as theirs. If the jury believes that Diddy used aliases to get drugs and to cover his track, it plays right into the racketeering charges. So when Cassie casually dropped those names last week, she didn't just out him. She gave the prosecution the string they needed to unravel this whole thing. Diddy shaking his head wasn't just denial, that was panic, you guys. As they say over at Lifespan Medicine, you only have one life, make the most of it. This case is unraveling like a movie script. Follow me for all the breakdowns, all facts, no fluff. Just follow me, I'll keep you updated. Do you remember when Diddy started?
Baby. Baby. Go ahead, favorite Taurus.
So, quite frankly, he's cooked.
Okay. Okay, you ain't it. You ain't it. Yes, I was gagged, and you know what? I am going to follow this lady, but I probably won't. I probably just may be glad because y'all know I can't stand Instagram. I don't even like looking at that shit. But I think I'll probably just go over there and look at it just briefly for that, because she and baby, they had my mouth wide open. I said, "Oh shit!" And yes, I do remember Cassie saying the name Frank. And hey, BB, hey, Hammy. So
The
yes,
dots are coming together.
they connecting, baby. So I take back what I said because I was like, it's a possibility that he may. And I was like, after that, I don't know now. And go ahead, favorite Taurus.
No, because that conviction rate from the feds is entirely too high for him to walk. I am so sorry. So my thing was really kind of understanding how they were trying to plan or plot the trial out, because at first it doesn't make sense, but they kind of know what they're doing. So it's very interesting. So we may not have needed Aubrey's testimony, even though it would have been beneficial after all, because she may not have been necessarily directly tied or linked to the racketeering charges.
Mm-hmm. And we have some comments. Good, take him down. One says he thought he was Frank Lucas, and then he is going to be there for the rest of his life. I've been saying that. Y'all absolutely right, child. And the last thing that we're going to talk about with Diddy is that how he actually, I think we kind of already knew this, but back in 2022, his net worth actually dropped by half. So, that Tootsie Roll is going to rotten jail.
Well, look at all the brand deals he lost when just the tape of him beating Cassie came out. He lost a lot at that time.
He sure did. Look at this comment. Wait, why did we start off talking about Brandy? I told you, chill.
BB, it's Auntie. Anything is possible.
Well, you'll just have to go back and listen to the recording, boom.
Who's the mayhem person?
He said that's just awful. He's stupid. But y'all see, I just shared this link from Hot New Hip Hop that pretty much explains about his net worth being reportedly dropped. And then we're gonna watch a quick video, um, where it was a CNN financial analysis person, expert. She talks about his net worth dropping. So give me 1 second. Let me share my screen. Okay.
Right now, Sean Diddy Combs isn't only fighting for his freedom, but also his money. Even with all his legal troubles, Forbes estimates his net worth is still around 400 million bucks. But if he were to be convicted, all that could be in jeopardy. Why? Because the government could actually seize his assets. People might hear that and think, wait, does that really mean that all of his businesses, all the money he has, could conceivably have been used to finance this? Therefore, it's all fair game?
Yeah, it pretty much is. I mean, this is a very, very broadly phrased forfeiture allegation. It doesn't look like there was any sort of pre-indictment seizures that they're counting towards it. Normally you see things they've already gotten their hooks into. So it's basically just saying if it is an instrumentality or a proceed, we're going to go after it. And they've named the enterprise in a very broad way, the RICO. The RICO is essentially anything he touched in his business world, whether it's, record labels, liquor labels, planes, trains, and automobiles. Basically mean everything is in play. And the other thing is there's a concept called substitute assets. Just when you think you're crawling out of the wreckage and you're down to your last 400 million, you're told, oh, we're also going for substitute assets, which means even if we can't prove that this particular car, this diamond watch, this piece of art is not connected to criminality, it still relates to our overall reward, and we're going to use it as a substitute.
Okay, well, we have some comments. Now the whole thing about him giving bad boy artists back their publishing makes a lot more sense. Yep. And I don't trust anything a white man has to say about a black man's assets. Okay, that is so fair. You are touche. Go ahead, favorite Taurus.
I agree with BB. He was a little too jolly for my liking, talking about that. But anyway. That it's starting to make a lot more sense now, because I remember it was such like, oh my God, he's finally giving bad boy artists back their publishing, but they didn't say the rest of it. It was like the publishing up to a certain or after a certain year, so they wouldn't have gotten much money anyway. And I also think about it from a different perspective as well. In the event that these artists like the band, because Babs has been very vocal about them being owed money in particular. I'm pretty sure others will naturally know other artists on the label are definitely owed money. So like essentially, I'm starting to see like that was their only way to get any type of recuperation for the work they put in all those years ago, and that's so disappointing. It was either take this hush money, or you essentially will get nothing.
Yep. I knew then when the story broke back then. I was like, because when has Diddy ever been known to be a giving person? We've always known him to kind of not do right by his artists. So I'm like, hey, 1+1, no matter how many rebrands you tried, honey, with the change your name to Brother Love and then Love and all, boy, bye. I knew it was just I knew we were not seeing the whole story then. So and now all of, like the lady said, everything is starting to unravel. And it's just like you said, Will, it's making a lot more sense.
Yeah. And speaking of which, now we're starting to see which artists did not sign. Because I know Dawn didn't sign naturally because she sued. Aubrey sure as hell didn't sign that goddamn thing, but they did say that some of the members from the group, in particular Danny King, they did sign. So that just leaves D Woods, Shannon, and Andrea. So we don't know of those three who signed, but some of them did. At least two of them did, unfortunately.
I just want to add, I don't know, BB. I think that white man is telling you how white men move. He knows that they could come after him, just like he was saying. It may not be attached to a specific crime, but he's telling you how they could strip this man bare. take all his shit.
Mm-hmm. And admittedly, when it comes to like racketeering, I didn't really have like a full understanding of exactly what it is. I just know it's a bad thing, but like the way it's being explained to me by these experts, like the one that the girl from the Instagram video and this white man who's talking about black men's finances, the way I'm like, oh, okay, so now they're able to tie in his bad boy record label, his Ciroc, so anything that has his name attached to it can be used. That so that just makes and I appreciate that. He should be found guilty alone for getting us Danny Kane, bitch. We will take your millennial card right the fuck now. You are treading very, very dangerous waters right now, bitch.
I ain't gonna let him hurt you, BB. Say what you want to say.
Chill.
Not about Danny Kane, not.
Absolutely not. We don't speak bad about our mothers. Those are five
Hell
mothers.
no.
You're safe, BB.
They suck.
Chill.
The music sucked. The music was trash. The group was trash. He inundated us with foolery, giving a slammer, and I'm banging my gavel. Period.
No, bitch, you suck.
You're the queen of that, ma'am. That's your job.
We're not talking about me.
Keep your 9 to 5. I'm good over here, sweetie.
Oh my God. Not sweetie.
Well, does anybody want to add anything about? We will definitely keep you updated with the live updates from the trial tomorrow on tomorrow's show. But does anybody want to add anything else before we go to the next story?
Just going over Chill's comments, like I know Chill that he's an expert in that, but we know that they abuse the law when it comes to us innocent or guilty. So I'm not saying what he's saying isn't correct because hey, I'm not a law expert. It probably is. But what I am saying is that they were going to take what they could with him being found guilty and throw everything at him just because not only his name, but because he's black. So anytime they say something, I'm not listening. I'm good. Thank you. I thought the financial analyst, can't think of her name right now. I thought she was going to give more information. I'm willing to listen to her. But him, as soon as I saw him in his waddle neck, I'm good.
I understand, honey.
Go ahead, favorite Taurus.
So the most important question, does that mean that Janice Combs and her wig collection are in jeopardy as well?
They sure are, because they are tied to that. They are tied somehow.
No.
If he got his name on any of her, if he purchased anything for her, like her home or whatever, if it's not in her name, it could be up for grabs.
He definitely purchased her wigs, honey. That is like high quality blonde human hair, honey. Probably taken off of a unicorn. So that was paid with
Not
bad boy money.
I'm sorry, high quality?
Mm-hmm.
Human?
Yes.
Human.
Yes.
HUMAN, like five words, right? Auntie? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. For the record, folks who are listening, Auntie hasn't had an eye exam in the past 4 years. So we're going to take the observation with a grain of salt and or pepper. Thank you very much.
I mean, have you seen her in her wigs? I'm thinking, okay.
Baby, that is unicorn tail, honey.
And you know what unicorns are? Not real. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Touche.
Gag him, Will. Gag him.
No, he'll like that. No, this is a vegetable. Say a celery sticks. Yes. Carrots. Yes.
Yeah. Y'all are mean.
No, we're not.
Well, speaking of mean, honey, now my thing about first of all, shout out to all the Geminis because they just started Gemini season. However, usually when it comes to Geminis, they are cool people. They are. My problem with Geminis is that they, how when it comes, they're the twins, right? So there's always like, I don't even know if I want to call that duality. They just always have to feel that they want to play devil's advocate. And if you think about the Geminis that you know in your life, you probably think about, oh damn, that person always does that. They always feel like they got to be the devil's advocate. They always feel like they got to agitate and just add just unnecessary conflict and shit to look, they suck, trash. Oh, and shout out to Ashley. Yeah, we like her. That's probably one of the few Geminis that we like. And you know, my grandparents, my grandma, her birthday's June 11th, so shout out to her. But yeah, they go ahead, favorite Taurus.
No, that's Virgo, man. I'm sorry, Auntie.
Well,
They swear they are the smartest people in the room, and they are dumb as fucking rocks. Most of them. Just shut the fuck up, please. Just hush, hush.
I can't
But
argue with you there.
but the duality thing, I think, to be honest with you, I think we all made up with duality. I just think with the air sign, there's just an extra layer of flightiness that kind of influences a lot of the Gemini's actions, which makes them appear to be the twins. But we all have good and bad in us. We all have like those sides to us. It's not just them. They're just flighty as fuck because they're air signs.
Yeah. Go ahead, baby. You know he about to get you for saying what you said about Virgo men, right? Go
I
ahead,
mean,
baby.
well, your comment was not true. It was very nasty. Um, Gemini's on the air sign for the air that's in between their heads. There's nothing there. They're twins because there's not a good twin or a bad. There's not a good twin. Just two bad, evil people side by side. Just saying, how much more evil can I be today? They're not good people. And Virgos are the best thing in any room that they are in. Big booty will. So with that, I say thank you for your comment, but it's definitely erroneous. And there's no question and answer session after I speak. Thank you. I love
Oh,
you though. I love you, but thank you.
Damn.
go ahead, favorite Taurus.
Well, first of all, I don't eat bologna, and my comment was definitely true and it was accurate. I said most, not all. I said most.
Oh,
I
and I
didn't say
love
all.
baloney.
Of course you do, Auntie.
No, we can agree on that. Derek, that wasn't a shocker. You loving baloney.
Mm,
And BB, believe it or not, I actually think there's some truth to what you're saying, honey. When it comes to a lot of them are not good people, Gemini's. There's two evil twins because I think that's the case with Azealia Banks' ass.
Your
And
president is a Gemini. That's enough representation. But
ooh.
let's go ahead with the story.
So y'all see, I just shared this link from All Hip Hop. Azealia Banks slams Megan Thee Stallion over Tory Lane's outburst. So y'all remember we talked about what Megan said, pretty much saying, "Leave me the fuck alone" on yesterday's show.
Mm-hmm.
Azealia. So this article says Azealia Banks called out Megan Thee Stallion over her latest outburst aimed at Tory Lanez, accusing the rapper of overreacting and stirring up drama while Lanez remains hospitalized in jail. And her quote says, "Sis, Tori is in a jail hospital, probably knocked out on a sedative and pain meds trying to heal. When did he say anything? He hasn't even told his fans he is okay. The public doesn't have proof the man is still alive. No photos, no word from the family. Girl, is that devils in your head making you spaz like this? If I were you, I would calm down. You're making the block hot. Shh. And then gonna tag Megan Thee Stallion. You weird bitch. Girl said, why are we giving Chicken Girl any airtime? Makes she wither away into obscurity. Exactly.
I wish you
Go ahead.
would. Real.
I think I saw Will's hand first.
it must be a really sad existence when you're only clinging to relevance as it relates to talk about hot topics or current events. You're not one of them. You're always providing unsolicited commentary about things that are beyond your pay grade, which is sad, because Azalea is an incredibly talented individual. It just gets overshadowed by all the extra foolishness, and I think she's okay with it, and more power to her. But I'm with Hamhawk. There are quite a few people in this world where I would like to hear less of and about, and she's definitely one of those people.
Well, she gets the attention though when she does it. So I guess that's her way of staying relevant. She does music so infrequently So when she says something, it gets platform, and that keeps her name, you know, in our faces.
But
That,
to your point, Joe, like her words, not mine. The shit's expensive, and she can't afford it. So to make music, that is. So it's like if that was her main goal, wouldn't she attempt to find additional ways to earn that income to invest in her music career?
yeah, it's really sad because she is talented.
Yeah.
She got bars.
Mm-hmm.
She has talent. So why she resorts to this kind of behavior?
Cause she a Gemini. Go ahead, BB.
I just want to echo. So, Will, you hit the nail on the head. It's so sad to see a woman so talented. Like, she actually has some good music. And I don't like to listen to all that boom to boom. But she has some good music. And she's very talented, but the only thing that gets you noticed is controversy. And you're always speaking on people who have the clout, who have the range that you don't have. And the only reason you don't have is because you're a nasty spirit, a nasty Gemini spirit. And that's her downfall. She can't help when her parents made it and when she was born. However, it's just stigma just attached to her. She's trash. I don't care how you dress up, I don't care how much talent you have. She's a loser. And the only reason she gets as far as she gets is because we give her the attention. That's why I block her. I don't engage in anything that she says. Like she did the same thing with Lizzo. She called her fat Lizzo. Then it was, oh, I love Lizzo. She's great.
Mm-hmm.
Like people like that cannot be trusted. You talk out both sides of your neck, as my grandma would say, and you can't think past go. Do not get $200. Sit in your loser station. We good. Thank you.
And maybe
I
that's why
know that's
she's
right.
not getting her musical opportunities because maybe she acts like this around the people that would be giving her these opportunities, and they're not going to put up with this bullshit.
And you remember, Chill, that was a big thing. She was at a producer's house and they was talking about how she acted. She turned it around like it was them. And I think that's why she's still like, I don't, what was the last thing we know from her? What, Fantasy or whatever the name of that album was? Like, girl, we good on you. Thank you, but no thanks. Go cut up your chickens and make all the rituals that you want. And whoever you praying to, you still in the same place that you were back in 2015. Thank you. We good, girl. Next.
I just want you to know that effective immediately, I will be using that. See, I don't listen to all that boom to boom. So thank you so much for that, BB.
Oh my gosh.
Go
So,
ahead, favorite Taurus.
Boom to Boom had me screaming on mute. It's hilarious. I was just going to say it is so unfortunate, disheartening, and disappointing how black women further perpetuate massage noir. You know, it's so disappointing how a black woman can state that she was harmed, provide evidence that she was harmed, but the GP overall sentiment, especially with folks that look like her, is like, well, what did you do? How does that make any sense? What this person told you that they were assaulted, physically harmed, maimed, essentially, but it's what did you do? I can't. I never want to be in the mindset where I understand that in any capacity because it's not. I don't think it is to be understood. I think it's a psychosis and a mental illness. Even though I don't have the degree to diagnose nobody, but I would. I'm again. This is what another thing that I would love to hear less about. Not because of Megan. It's just the nastiness of what she's been receiving ever since this occurred. You know, it's
Mhm.
vile. That's the only word I can really describe it as vile. You know.
That's the perfect word for it. It's vile, and it's and I hate to say this, but it's actually not surprising. I mean, because especially in our community, you kind of see like when it. 'Cause I think that's the same breath as like the transphobic gays or homophobic gays and stuff like. It's just kind of like you speaking against your own kind, and it's like, girl, what the fuck are you doing? But we can't expect what they say. All skin folk ain't kin folk, so it is what it is.
hey, yeah. And we see it happen to multiple women on this website, any kind of controversy, there's always other women coming for them, even if they've been wrong. We see it all the time, not just concerning Megan. It's yeah, it's a lot. Go ahead, BB.
No, chill, Will, you guys are right. It's unfortunate that it's our community. Because what it does is it creates a stigma that when things happen to people, they don't want to come forth because it's nobody's going to believe me. It's my word against the world, and they start to question their own credibility. It's so disheartening. We do it when people get cheated on. It's, well, girl, what did you do? Well, what happened? I think there's a way to, when you want to get down to the facts, there's a way to bring things out. Like, you want to get the full story instead of saying, well, what did you do? Because it's such a cruel thing to make people, like, I can only imagine Megan, who, think about it, she doesn't have a mother, she doesn't have her grandmother, like her entire, this is her best friend, so her entire support system is annihilated, and then she still gets beat up publicly for all she did. I don't even think she wanted to drop the charges against the idiot, and then
Yep,
the
she didn't
state
want him to
picked
get
it
in
up.
trouble.
She didn't not wanting to get into it. She wanted to protect him. And this is the thanks that she gets. And we should be ashamed as a society with whether we victim blame. We should truly be ashamed. And just keep it in our community. It goes back to so many things. Like when you got in trouble, we say don't white folk. And well, what did you do when you got in trouble? Because they wanted to make sure that, hey, you're saying you're the victim, but did you do anything to cause this? And I think it has caused so much harm for the way that we treat things in present day society. So sad. I feel sorry for Megan.
That'll work. You ate that.
They've turned on Cassie since her testimony. We watched it happen. Even more so. She had maybe some in the beginning, but since her testimony and her text messages were revealed, oh, honey. I think these people like Megan should take a page out of Beyonce's book and stop posting on the internet. Don't say nothing. Just let them say what they want. Don't reply. Don't react. Don't just stay off the internet.
Yeah. So now I think this is actually a really interesting conversation because it actually is a good segue to our next story. Because now y'all know me, I don't really like watch sports. Well, I not really. I don't watch sports at all. But I do remember seeing clips about I'm sure y'all are familiar with what's been going on between Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark, and
Yes.
how there's been like some conversations about like her being Angel getting racist comments thrown at her and stuff over Frank. So I bring this up to say because Angel, she's actually spoken out and she says that the WNBA has supported her throughout this. She feels very supported by the WNBA. So let me just share this link from TMZ. And we're going to actually watch a, hey, gorgeous, we're going to watch a quick video about her talking about it when she was being interviewed. So give me 1 second.
Yeah, obviously there's no place to sleep for that. I think WNBA and our team and our organization has done a great job supporting me. I've had communication from everyone, from so many people across this league, and being able to support me going through this whole process. Obviously, it could happen to me, it could happen to anyone, and I think they've done a great job supporting us in this.
How did it affect you Saturday, trying to do your job, trying to play, and having this going on simultaneously?
Yeah, obviously it's tough, but I think I have a great support system. I'm loved by so many people, and obviously in the moment it's hard to hear, but my support system is great. God has protected me in so many different ways. I've gone through so many different things in the past couple of years of my life, but I think just having this support and this love and being a part of an organization that really supports me and loves me is something that I couldn't imagine not being a part of.
What do you think the league's response, just coming out right away and getting that investigation going?
Yeah, obviously, like I said, they understand that this is this is the priority. Obviously, there's no place for this, and they preach. I think 2 days before they put out no hate, no speech. And obviously, the women in this league, they know that and know there's no space for that. And I believe that every player in this league deserves to be treated with respect and want to come to work and just have fun and have a great environment to work at. So I think they've done a great job putting that out, and we're obviously just going to respond as they need to.
Were you able to get that?
I think she's so adorable. I just think she's so cute. Oh my gosh, she was just like a tall Barbie doll. I just love it. But yeah, she said she feels supported by the WN Taurus Queen. I know that's right. And I'm happy that she does feel supported because she and I'm sure they've seen what's been even I, a non-sports fan, saw this shit and I'm like, what the hell? So that's good. Go ahead, favorite Taurus.
And if everyone recalls, I'm not sure if you saw this as well, Aunties, before she and Triple H, I mean, never mind, got drafted. Hamha got me in trouble. Um, like there was another incident where it was involving taunting, you know, and how Angel was being taunted at. But when she taunted in retaliation, it was like this huge spectacle of a deal, you know. So I'm glad that she has been able to garner that support from the organization because I believe it was the NCAA. They were mute the entire time about everything.
Oh yeah, when she did the ring finger thing at her.
Right,
She
right.
said, yeah, they
Mm.
gave, yeah, the racists have been after her since that point. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm just glad that she doesn't have to experience that to that extent again, you know, with having such a huge organization like WNBA kind of backing her because it was nasty and it was violent. I hope Plain Jane got whatever disciplinary action that's supposed to come her way. Either way, if not just, I think the negative public opinion would be enough for that type of fragility. So,
Well, to be honest, they're not the only ones. I've seen some fouls that I thought were, um, I don't like. Some of you may not know who Draymond is, but he's the kind who would, grab you around the neck and like choke you and stuff. I've seen some really nasty fouls.
I'm
Uh,
sorry, what was his name?
I'm not telling you. Um, yeah, there have been some really nasty fouls, and it's not sportsmanship, and it just not doesn't involve Angel and Caitlin. There are other players who have done this that I thought were pretty ugly. So I think in general, this message needs to get across. And then the person actually smiled afterwards and was proud of kind of what they did, like what you gonna do about it, kind of thing. Yeah, yeah, it happens, and overall, and it happens in the NBA too. I think it needs to be reined in, a little bit. It gets personal, you get emotional, and people are crowding you and jumping around you and in front of you, and then you get pissed off and kind of grab them and throw them down and all this kind of stuff. And it's not necessary, but it happens. So overall, I think the message should be about everyone and not just these two. Go ahead, Moon.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, boo.
Hi, everyone. Boy, I have been really fired up about this topic, especially because a sports analyst gave a great breakdown of another Black man who really kind of fanned the fire of, you know, and speaking of things that he really doesn't know. And it just brought out so many people of their true colors, how they really don't like Black women. Like Black men coming up and vocally like defending the Black man who was protecting the white woman. They have not had peace since college, that everybody put all of their racial tensions on top of these players,
Yeah.
these women. And there has just been such an undercurrent of like a mini race war almost. Like every time something happens, it's like, white men jump out and show their ass and want to talk about black women. You don't even know black. Ugh, don't even get me started. And then you have the coon effect, where then black men jump out there and are putting their capes on and their goggles to protect Caitlin Clark. And I think just how much of it's infuriating. Like,
It really is.
I just, like, y'all really hate us, huh? like,
No, Mo, you're
like y'all
absolutely
hate y'all
right.
mamas.
Yeah, girl, yes, and they make that clear, and it's just like, and it pisses me off because these are supposed to be the quote unquote leaders of the black community, honey. The whole time they can't even lead a fucking conga line. So yeah,
Well, I mean, they're pitiful, and no one has any comprehension, skills, no type of discernment. They only hear what they want to hear out of people's mouths. I was listening to that man, and people have made whole dialogues that have nothing to do with what he actually said, which is beyond me. So you mad at a black man for protecting and sticking up for another black woman? Oh my God! I can't. You know what? We are in some dark times.
and it is. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's sad how after every play, any kind of controversy, the racism in the comments is just wild, and that's in general on this other platform that the races are just out of control. And I know that some of them aren't real people, they're bots and so forth, but it has really ramped up. I don't remember Twitter being like this in the before times. They were there, but now under it could be a topic about something totally unrelated. Just and they're in there just stirring it up. I just
No, Chill, you're absolutely right. Twitter has never been like this before, and that's exactly why two of my favorite people no longer use the app, which happen to be Hammock and BB. They said
yeah,
they left me up. They left me for dead on that motherfucker, honey. And now their ass is over there using Blue Sky.
and I see why. You just don't get these kinds of comments under posts. You just don't, and it's so refreshing because you just get tired of it. It's depressing. You don't want to keep absorbing this into your psyche. It's depressing to read. So a lot of times now I just won't even read the comments. And this could be something of talking about black people talking about black people, and the racists are in there, making derogatory statements and really being nasty. It's getting to be a little much. It really is. So
Mhm.
yeah, I don't blame them. I've been going to Blue Sky a lot myself just to get away from it. The atmosphere over there is just so much more peaceful. And people call it an echo chamber. You call it what you want. But when you have to keep absorbing, this kind of information, it's really not good for your peace. And yeah, you want to know who the enemies are and whatever, but we already know. We don't need to keep seeing it to believe it and know who they are. You get tired of it. So yeah, Blue Sky is definitely a refreshing change from X.
Blue Sky don't have all that boom to boom.
No, they don't.
I told you, BB, you ain't with that.
The block list
Go.
over there ate. I mean, they ate with that. They blocked them before we even had a chance to see them. People put them on a list. We don't see none of that bone to bone.
I know that's right. Go ahead, favorite Taurus.
No, to your point, so you made a very interesting point, and I believe that X is actually the echo chamber. You know,
Hmm.
it's essentially a bunch of problematic people talking to each other, and then they get certain people riled up, and that's where the engagement really comes in, is people combating or in response to their
Hmm.
bullshit.
Yeah.
But if that wasn't there, it would be just like Blue Sky. I really don't see the difference outside of Blue Sky being more for folks of sound mind
Right.
and
I
X being for the folks of no mind. just tumbleweeds and vibes, pretty much.
A lot of mess, a lot of fight videos, a lot of anything to get engagement, anything for clicks. Made up stories, people stealing content. You know, uh, my sister's now dating my boyfriend, and they plan on getting married. When that tweet was recycled from 5 years ago from somebody else, and it's yeah, it's a bit much. Ads, and then you
Ooh,
see another
child.
post from someone you follow or someone that's interesting talking about something relevant, and then another whole stream of this other bullshit, and then another post. It's not fun anymore.
It's not. And the only way you can really get peace on that platform is if your profile is quote unquote protected or private.
Yep.
That is the only way you can find peace, which kind of takes the fun out of it if you really want to engage with people,
Right.
which what the platform was initially for to begin with. So it's creating it forces you to create a silo in order to maintain some sort of sanity by using the application, whereas Blue Sky, it ain't like that.
At all. I love it.
Okay, y'all. I mean, I know I keep saying this. I'll try to use it more. Dang.
Well, you don't have to. If you're happy with your experience on X, you really don't have to. But I know for me, it just gets to be too much, and it's the same stuff ad nauseum. You see so much of it, and when you're looking for better content to come along, it's so much of that other stuff before you get to it, until you just get tired of it, and then I just go to Blue Sky just for peace of mind and some rational, sane posts and responses and so forth. Yeah, there's not as many people over there using it at this point, but it's just so much more relaxing, and that's the whole point. I mean, it's X is turned into just like a gutter, and every now and then someone sticks their head out, and you say, "Oh, this is interesting," or I follow, for my information on, what's happening with the COVIDs and around the world and the infections and so forth. I mean, those are people I like to keep up with. Some news, even the news, the CNNs, and uh, they're they're gone to trash.
Hmm.
WAPO, New York Times, all of them are trash. So the Associated Press is really the only one that I kind of give any kind of attention to. So yeah, it's too much. Go ahead, Moon.
I think Will was first.
Oh,
No, go
was
ahead,
he?
Miranda. I've been talking. You can go for it.
I was gonna say, I mean, with all that we know, when that demon spawn took control of the site, he unleashed all his minions, and so with in all the safeguards that we had to keep them away, he removed all that. And we've had to suffer ever since then. He has truly ruined the app, unfortunately. Um, Nothing is like, I've been off and on since actually like almost the conception. Like some white girl had told me about it back in the day, like 2005 or something, like when it was like very brand new, or seven, maybe
Fresh.
around seven.
Hmm.
And it was just like, oh my gosh, you guys, I mean, this one man I mean, just like the government, I mean, he could prove that he can truly ruin something
You
if he
did.
puts his mind to it. If that's
And
his focus, he can ruin it. And he ruined his company by jumping into politics. I hope that whole car company goes in the toilet. I pray every day that it does not come back. That
well,
all of that whole shebang that he stole, because he basically stole that company from somebody else anyway. I
Hmm.
hope it goes down in flames and it can never recover, because the way he has ruined this government in 3 months, and then walk away.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm done. Like, whatever. And our lives are just in limbo. Like, fuck him and the horse he rode in on. I hope there is a sub basement on a sub basement in hell with his name on it.
With his badly built ass. Go ahead, favorite Taurus.
I was just gonna say, Auntie, you can stay on Twitter because you eat Vienna sausages anyway. So I think I think you're in the appropriate spot.
And you know what? And I think Hammock agrees with you because he also says keep your trash ass over at Twitter. So he said,
Yes. About that statement, I'm hoping the board removes him. I think they told him to sit his ass down and shut the fuck up because you noticed that that's what he's done. They're like, you're hurting our brand, you're hurting our money. You know, the only
mhm,
thing I think keeping Tesla alive right now is the fact that you can lease a Tesla cheaply compared to the car market right now and what we're going through with the tariffs and so forth. It's still economical in America to get a Tesla. Now, other countries have definitely dumped his product. I know it's suffered overseas, but not here. But yeah, I think they told him he better sit his ass down before he suffers some repercussions because he's been mighty quiet in his latest video about him crying and uh, he didn't do anything wrong and he was trying to,
Yeah.
oh, he's gonna not put money into politics anymore. And well, yeah, you've already fucked it up. So yeah,
mhm.
Yeah, I hope. I hope. Yeah, I don't slither away now. I hope no one forgets. I want it to go down in flames.
Mhm. Well, that's that on that. Does anybody want to have add anything about that trash, badly built South African before we go over to the next? I got three more stories left. All right. Well, this next story. So I guess all you problematic Chris Brown fans, y'all can rejoice because y'all favorite cokehead is out. He's been granted bail, and I'm sharing this link from CNN. U.S. singer Chris Brown granted bail by UK court ahead of world tour. So y'all, I guess y'all can go see that concert. Chris Brown was on Wednesday. Chris Brown was granted bail on Wednesday by a London court after he was charged with a serious assault, clearing the way for his world tour to begin next month. Brown has been charged with inflicting grievous bodily harm in what prosecutors said was an unprovoked attack on music producer Abraham Abe Diao with a tequila bottle in a London nightclub in 2023. The 36-year-old has not yet been asked to enter a plea to the charge. He was not present at Southwark Crown Court when Judge Tony Baumgartner granted him bail. The R&B star, a two-time Grammy Award winner known for his hits such as Loyal, Run It, and Under the Influence, is set to kick off his Breezy Bowl 20 tour on June 8th in the Netherlands. Brown was arrested at a hotel in Manchester, as we know, Northern England, last week after returning to Britain for the first time since the incident 2 years ago. He was initially refused bail on Friday, but was granted bail on Wednesday on the condition that he pays £4 million, which is equivalent to $5.4 million, and then he has to pay a further £1 million due in 7 days, and that's equivalent to 1.3 million American dollars. Brown was also required to surrender his passport, except for when he is traveling for his tour. Mm-mm. So yeah, y'all can go see y'all favorite cokehead flip around on
Who
stage.
is y'all? But first of all, how stupid does your camp have to be to not have any of this resolved before you took your sorry ass over there? What you thought they was gonna forget? Like, why would
Mm-hmm.
you not have taken care of this before you book a whole tour? I mean, people just dumb now? Like,
hubris, thinking you that,
this shit is
you know,
crazy.
yeah, hubris. He thought he could just run up in there. They're not gonna do nothing. Okay, come on over.
Now, what I find interesting, because this article didn't say anything about, you remember we talked about that other London rapper, Hoodie Baby, being arrested in connection with that. And remember, for this to happen, that Hoodie Baby is a London rapper. So for the fact that this happened, 2-something years ago, and Hoodie Baby is just getting arrested for this in connection with Chris Brown, leads me to believe that maybe they are paying Hoodie Baby allegedly to maybe take the fall. Allegedly, I don't know. But I just find it really weird how they first did not grant him bail, and now say, okay, well, you can get on bail now. After Hoodie Baby was arrested. Y'all picking up what I'm putting down? Like, maybe I'm just thinking too much into it, but it's not lost to me.
Yeah, it's weird. I agree. And when he's right there.
Right. So if he was going to be arrested for that, they should have arrested him back in 2023 if he was connected to it like they say it happened.
Right.
Well, does anybody want to add anything before we go to our next story, Hunter? Speaking of motherfucking problematic people who can barely sing, Rod Wave, you Pillsbury doughboy looking ass bitch. When I tell you, I already didn't like him like that because his ass can't sing and his music is depressing. But now, honey, his actions now matches that music. So I'm sharing a link from All Hip Hop. You see where it says Rod Wave hit with 13 felony charges in a Georgia arrest. Oh, fucker. So Rod Wave was taken into custody Tuesday, May 20th in Fulton County on a laundry list of felony charges tied to an April 21st incident, marking another legal hurdle for the chart-topping hip-hop artist. The 25-year-old rapper, born Rodarius Marcel Green, is facing 13 felony counts, including aggravated assault, possession of a firearm during a felony, pointing a gun at another person, criminal damage to property, reckless conduct, and tampering with evidence, according to arrest documents obtained by All Hip Hop. He was released later that same day after posting surety bonds. While authorities have not confirmed the details of the alleged incident, online speculation linked the case to Mini Barbie, also known as Nari, Rod Wave's current girlfriend. Unverified social media chatter suggests that he may have fired at her or her vehicle, but police have not publicly addressed those claims. The arrest adds to Rod Wave's prior run-ins with the law. In 2022, he faced a battery charge stemming from a domestic dispute, which was later dropped. In 2024, he was arrested in Florida on a firearm-related charge. However, that case was dismissed after his legal team argued he was misidentified as a convicted felon. His attorneys at the time said that there was absolutely no evidence of wrongdoing. No dates have been announced, and neither Rod Wave nor his legal team have commented publicly on the current charges. The arrest comes on the heels of a messy public feud earlier this year involving Mini Barbie and Rod Wave's ex-girlfriend Dee, the mother of his twin daughters. Adding more fuel to the fire, a woman named Zaria recently alleged that Rod Wave fathered her newborn daughter. He denied the claim and accused her of extortion, posting screenshots that showed he had sent her $5,000 and alleging that she demanded $35,000 for either an abortion or a business investment. In the midst of the drama, Rod Wave posted a remorseful message on Instagram, writing, "I'm so sorry. Ain't even go through with it. I ruined everything. Embarrassing you, hurting you, and you was there for me. I'm so sorry I hurt you. These people so wrong about me. I'm sorry, you're the purest person I have ever known, and you don't deserve that. I had it in my hand, but I ain't shoot." He ended the post with, "Y'all, I fucked up bad." Oh, funky fucker. Oh. so he said he looks like a mouth breather, and that's a hard 25.
Both of those.
Child.
And if she believe that apology, baby, I got a bridge to sell you. And right here on my street is a whole lake that run right down the middle of the street, okay?
That part.
Because if you think he won't do it again, don't fall for it, girl.
Boy.
I'm sorry, if a man even points a gun at me, baby, that's just like I'm never.
If he even talk about it, I will get a gun and shoot. He ain't even got
Hello.
the point.
But he done went as far as shooting at the car and shit. Like, girl, child. Go ahead, favorite Taurus.
It's like the tales of this time of someone with or a situation where someone with an imbalanced power dynamic and providing someone like the dangling carrot of like access or money or the like, because it ain't no way on God's green earth that someone would have to put up with that otherwise. A quick question for the room. If you have facial hair, right, isn't it supposed to like help bring out angles and features of a person's face?
It does.
Okay, just asking.
And we see this looks like his face looks like a biscuit and not a good one. Like them
From
biscuits that serve
Biscuitville?
at Popeyes, maybe. No. Biscuitville biscuits are good. Maybe Popeyes biscuits.
Don't you have to have angles and features to bring out?
Oh my god! Oh my god!
I'm just,
Oh
I'm
my
just
god!
speculating that that's probably the problem here.
Chill. Give me back my knives, please.
No, I like them. They're sharp.
Thank you. I keep them. I keep them pristine at all times.
Well, does anybody want to add anything about this Pillsbury Doughboy looking fucker or Will's knives before we go to our last story?
No.
Right. Well, the last story I have, you know that old saying that a man that represents himself in court has a fool for a lawyer.
Yes.
So Big U, honey, I remember we talked about him before. And long story short, Big U is that they say that he was the who inspired Debo from the movie Friday. But anyway, I just shared this link from Hot New Hip Hop, and you see where it says Big U will represent himself in RICO trial after his lawyer's shocking withdrawal. So Eugene Big U Henley reportedly intends to represent himself in this high-profile RICO trial after his lawyer asked to withdraw, according to All Hip Hop. He told the court that he doesn't have enough money to hire a new lawyer. His attorney, Arturo Hernandez, cited a breakdown in communication and trust while requesting to get off of the case. The attorney-client relationship has deteriorated to the point where continued representation would be unfair to both the client and the court, Hernandez stated in the filing. The update comes after U.S. District Judge Fernando L. Anel Roca pushed his trial date back a full year to May 2026 earlier this month. Prosecutors had requested more time to review a massive amount of evidence they had compiled. They claimed to have over 20,000 intercepted audio calls, as well as numerous surreptitious audios and video recordings. Additionally, there's law enforcement reports, additionally, there's law enforcement reports, search warrants and returns, criminal history, document recordings, and photographs. Authorities originally arrested Big U in March after unsealing a 43-count indictment against him. They accused him of allegedly running a criminal network connected to the Rolling 60s Crip gang. Among the charges were 1 count of conspiracy to violate the RICO Act, 2 counts of conspiracy to interfere with commerce and by robbery and extortion, the Hobbs Act, 1 count of Hobbs Act robbery, 9 counts of attempted Hobbs Act extortion, 5 counts of Hobbs Act extortion, 1 count of transportation of the individual. Okay, this is a lot of counts. We just know he was charged with a lot of shit. Big U eventually turned himself in, but before doing so, went on a rant proclaiming his innocence on social media. I ain't been nothing but a help to our community, he said at the time. This is the price of being black and trying to help somebody, trying to help your community and do what you can. So yeah, so he says he doesn't have enough money to get a new lawyer, and his other lawyer said, this man is too much. I cannot do this, and it wouldn't be fair to him or the court if I continue to be his lawyer.
And he ain't had no money. So if he didn't have money for another lawyer, he didn't have money for this lawyer.
Uh-huh. So that's that. We'll keep an eye on this. I'm sure they're gonna give us some updates on this trial. But y'all, that was all the tea that I had for us today. So before I go and make my appointment, because I'm just so busy, does anybody have any tea that they want to share or any tea that I may have missed?
Did you talk about that boss man D-Lo situation that everybody been going on? That's messy mess.
Yesterday.
Yeah.
Oh, I missed
So
that. Oh, dang it.
Candy said, "Is there a dick appointment?" No, honey. No. No. Go ahead, favorite Taurus.
Auntie, you're gonna take pictures. He's so busy running errands. He's so popular. Things to do. I have appointments. So busy.
Yes. That's exactly it, honey. Well, I want to thank you all for coming by and sipping tea with me, taking time out of your busy schedule to do so. We will be back tomorrow at 12:30 Eastern Standard Time. In the meantime, hit up our email at auntie@auntiederek.com. And you all have a fabulous rest of your day.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.